The Harvest Show, where faith makes a world of difference.
It is the TGIF edition of Harvest alongside the lovely and talented Valerie Lowe, the almost lovely but certainly talented Stefan Radulich, and Dinty Moore. No, it's Corey Mann from Pulse FM.
Back from his lumberjack commercials.
Yes, I'm Chuck Freeby. Great to have our buddy from Pulse FM Radio who you did a wonderful job at World Pulse Festival, I must say. I told you that on radio earlier this week, but now I'll tell you that on television. And it was a great event from my estimation, but you were knee-deep in the middle of it the whole time. What were your thoughts?
I love the lineup. I love Friday night's nostalgic feel, you know, where we've been. And I love Saturday's where we're going, you know, the future. And I think we got a bird's eye view of the future of Christian music towards the end of the night there.
Well, yeah, for King and Country is not a group that has been on the Christian music landscape for a long time, and yet the performance they put on Saturday night showed that they are an awesome act.
Well, David Smallbone, the dad, has been in the industry for 50 years. Okay. So he's seen it all. He started as a concert promoter in Australia, came over here to work for Carmen back in the day. That fell through, so he kept his 2 plane tickets and flew the family over here. His daughter, Rebecca St. James, made a name for herself and basically supported the whole family. And the brothers, Joel and Luke, got brought up in that touring family. So they saw what lights meant. They saw what artistry meant on stage. And then now, you know, they're in their late 20s, and that's how they came out of the gate in 2011. This is what we want to do. We want to put on a spectacle with the greatest message there is to sing about. And we saw it.
Yeah, and the thing too about for King Country, they're so well grounded, and their message, especially their passion for chivalry and honor and integrity, is pretty powerful.
January of this past year, and then this past Saturday night, I got invited into their group devotional, and we're talking some serious talk happening. And you're talking about being grounded. Why are we going out and doing what we're doing? Yeah, there's a lot of lights, and there's a lot of spectacle, and there's a lot of artistry, but what are we trying to accomplish? And trying to get in front of as many people as possible to sing about Jesus.
Corey, I'm always wondering, how do you select the artist? I mean, sometimes you have people asking to come to World Pulse Festival.
In my opinion, did you see what you saw? Did you see it? Did you see, you know, that's my thing, is you can get a singer-songwriter up there, and I think they can get lost in the shuffle. I think we're looking for a performance, you know, a high-end performance level. And, you know, you start off at the beginning of the day with a band that has a couple of songs under their belt, and it just got better as the night progressed.
Now, was this Plum's first time with us?
Yes, everybody on Saturday night was their first time.
Okay.
As opposed to Friday night, where we're taking a look at some of the Friday night highlights here, and Union of Sinners and Saints and Chris Sly, but obviously the big group on Friday night was Switchfoot. They've been here before. What did you see different from this time around?
10 albums in their career, Chuck, they just know what they want to do. They want to be a soundtrack for hope. You know, hope deserves an anthem, and that's what they're chasing after, and they're trying to get in front of as many people as well with that message of hope.
And the Imperials, you think they have a shot at making it in the industry?
There's a good chance. There's a good chance.
Hall of Famers with us on that first night as
well. You know, it was great. A quick story. I'm backstage in catering, and my uncle walks through, and I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm going to see the Imperials backstage. He's buddies with them, and I thought, okay, only at the World Pulse Festival can that happen. But, you know, we went to church for a while there with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
Well, if you haven't picked up on it, coming up on today's show, World Pulse Festival 2016 is history, but the music and messages live on. The ever-talented Plum, who Valerie mentioned, will join me backstage with a ministry update, and singer Lincoln Brewster rocked the house. But first, here's something from King and Country, singing Priceless.
Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, sailing those lies, pointing at your flaws, that isn't who you are. that isn't who you are. It might be hard to hear, but let me tell you, dear, if you could see what I could see, I know you would believe that isn't who you are. There's more to who you are. So when it's late, you wanna wait, so much to say. Don't you dare forget that in the be brave. You say, I see you dressed in white, every wrong made right. I see your rose in blue at the side of you. So priceless, irreplaceable, unmistakable, incomparable, time is beautiful. I see it all in you. Oh, so priceless. No matter what you've heard, this is what you're worth. More than all the money or the diamonds and pearls. Oh, this is who you are. Yeah, this is who you are. So when it's late, you wanna wait, so much to take. Don't you ever forget the I see you dressed in white, every wrong made right. I see your rose in blue at the side of you. Oh, so priceless, irreplaceable, unmistakable, incomparable, darling, it's beautiful. I see it all in you. Oh, so priceless. Sisters, we can start again. Give honor to the ends. Love, we can start again. Brothers, we can start again. Give honor till the end. Yeah, we can start again. I see you dressed in white, every wrong made right. I see your rose in blue at the side of you. Oh, so priceless, irreplaceable, unmistakable, incomparable, darling, it's beautiful. I see it all in you. Oh, so priceless, yeah. See your dress in white, every only right. See your rose in blue at the side of you. See your dress in white, every only right. See your rose in blue, we can start again. See your dress in white, every only right. See your rose in blue at the side of you. See your dress in white, every only right. Oh, so priceless.
Hi, this is Stefan Radulich with Feed the Hungry, and I want to encourage you to become a Full Life Monthly partner today. Why is that so important? Well, because children like these children at the Kiryandongo refugee camp come to school every day for a hot meal. For all of these kids, this is the best meal they're going to have. For many of them, it might be the only meal that they have on a given day of any month. Because of your monthly support, we can make a monthly commitment to schools like this. It takes $6 a month to take care of one child, so maybe today you can make that $6 a month commitment, or $12 or $18. Or maybe you can make a commitment of $30 or $60. And for doing that, I want to say thank you and God bless you.
Please act now. These children need your encouragement. They need to know they are not alone. Please call 1-877-769-9270 or visit feedthehungry.org to help a child know how good a full life feels.
We are pleased to have at the World Pulse Festival for the first time the lovely artist Plum. You've seen her before on the Harvest Show, and I know the last time you were on the Harvest Show you talked about the role that your marriage and the struggles that you went through have played in your career. Now that you've moved on to another project, an Exhale, you've also been able to kind of chart the story of how a sermon in church touched your life. Tell me about that one.
Yes, my husband and I had been separated for a while. He was going to church with my tour manager, kind of against his will. And while in church, the pastor happened to say, if you're new with us this morning, we just wanted you to know that everyone's welcome here. Nobody's perfect. Anything's possible. And that if you're not okay, it's okay. And something just really hit him that day, and he felt like God was speaking to him, and he felt very sure that he was not okay. He had left me and our 3 children and was kind of planning a whole new life outside of our home, and it was the most devastating and dark, hopeless feeling time I'd ever experienced. And we were talking, and we weren't even close to getting back together, but he made a comment about that sermon. He said, the pastor at the church that I've been going to made a comment, and he said, it's okay to not be okay. And he said, and I'm not okay. And he began to cry and just really become almost in touch with his emotions for the first time in a while. Some things that he'd resisted feeling, just kind of being honest with himself about how things were not all right. And I think that's most of the time, that's the first step, just acknowledging that everything's not okay, and let's figure out why and then go from there. And so he said, I don't know that there's hope for us, but I know that there is hope for me and the brokenness in me, and that nothing good is going to come from our marriage until he found healing and just restoration and forgiveness. And so at the same time, I, in that separation, realized he'd been kind of living with a pretty difficult person to live with. And so we both were not okay. And so after coming back together, and we ended up remarrying each other all over again 18 months later, that same pastor made a comment about how we don't exist for us. We exist to share the grace and the love that we've been given freely that we don't deserve. We breathe it in, it changes us, and then we breathe it out. We exhale. We serve others. We love others. We share our story with others. And in that moment, I just nudged him in church, and I was like, that's the title of this record. This whole record is me just breathing out what God's done after breathing it in. And so I just tied those two together, and Exhale was born.
What's been the reception to it from people that have heard it?
Oh, just tremendous connection of people saying, hey, I'm not okay, and hey, I'm not okay either, and hey, I'm not okay either. And just I think the simplicity in just breathing in grace, it's kind of both visual and simplistic, that you literally just take a breath and then you just accept, you know what, God died for you. There's nothing you can do about that. He loves you that much. He died on a cross. He didn't stay dead. He came back to life all for you. And if he can do that, whatever it is you're dealing with, just breathe in that grace that's already been paid for you, and let it change you. And by serving people in maybe a similar situation that you are in or have been in, by just loving on others, and by sharing your story, God kind of takes our pain and gives it purpose, and then suddenly there's just a lot of restoration happening and resurrection in your own life. And that's what I found by sharing it and serving and loving on others that were in the same situation as me, or had been, or that, when I had kind of come out of that place, was still a place of real, just tremendous restoration. And I think we are so afraid to share our stories sometimes because we think we're the only one, or people are going to shame us. But God paid for that on the cross. Like he's paid for that. And we exist to advance the kingdom of God, and we do that by loving on people, serving them in whatever capacity we can, and by sharing what we've been through, no matter how dark. And so that's just what I'm doing, and God's used it, and that's the greatest payment I could ever ask for. And I just told God, I will tell the story till I die, because you did this, and it was only through you. And so here we are, exhaling.
Well, we're excited that we give you the opportunity to touch these people here at the 30th World Pulse Festival, and glad you could be with us today.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. I was born in Indiana, too, so it was like a bonus to just, who's your girl?
Back home again. She will not sing that. We'll leave that to Jim Neighbors. That'll do it from here.
Though I walk through a valley that feels worse than death, I'm slow to speak, instead I hear your voice, and it says, come to me, you the tired and heavy, and I will give you much needed rest. You are my hope, you are my song. these words. Though I have danced with the devil and all of his friends, I am quick to see your hands offered to me. Hands that bear my scars and feet that pull me towards him. I am humbled by your love for me. Sing, you're my hope. You are my hope. You are my song. You are my song. The oxygen. You are the oxygen inside these weary lungs. My safe place. You are my safe place. My home. You are my home. My shelter. You are my shelter when it all goes up in smoke. You are my shelter when it all goes up in smoke. That's not all that he is. He's my healer, provider. You are my God. Protector, my strength and shield. You are my God. Do you believe that tonight, Indiana? My healer, provider. You are my God. Sing it out, protector. My strength and shield, you are my God. You are my hope, my song, you are my song. Oh, you are the oxygen inside these weary lungs. Oh, you are my safe place. You are my hope. You are my shelter when it all goes up in smoke. You are my shelter when it all goes up in smoke. You are my shelter when it all goes up in smoke. Amen.
Dr. Lester Sumrall was given a global vision to reach 1 million souls every day for Jesus Christ. To fulfill his God-given assignment, he established LeSEA Broadcasting. The ministry today reaches millions of people in more than 190 nations through the power of television, radio, shortwave satellites, free Bibles, and prayer line. But we need your help. Will you join Partners in Faith by giving a monthly gift of $25, $50, $100 or more? Give today by calling 1-800-365-3732 or visit LeSEA.com.
If you want to do more and be more, but your stamina runs out of steam, you need the top-selling Essential Vitamin Mineral Pack by Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez. The doctor's Making Healthy Choices Essential Pack costs only $59.95, but the health benefits are priceless. You get mineral concentrate, an unsurpassed formula of trace minerals essential to good health. Omega-3 for overall vascular support and healthy brain function. Vita Sprouts, a superior form of multivitamins. And you get Sol UC for a strong immune system. That's mineral concentrate, omega-3, Vita Sprouts, and Sol UC. An incredible value for only $59.95. And if you act now, shipping is free. Call 1-800-965-2345 or go to mhclife.com to get the Doctor's Essential Pack from Making Healthy Choices. That's 1-800-965-2345 or mhclife.com.
Chuck Freeby back inside the Compton Family Ice Arena, the site of the Harvest World Pulse Festival, and we're joined by Lincoln Brewster. First-time performer at this festival. Hard to believe with all the success that you've had that this is the first time you're here.
I know. I've been offended, really.
Well, we try to do that.
I've been hurt.
Join the 21st century where everybody is offended easily.
I'm stoked to be out here. We got a chance to me and a bunch of the band walk the campus, and it's true. we have a thing called Thrive School that we do out in Sacramento, California, where we are training and teaching next generation of worship leaders, tech people. And so we reshot the scene where Rudy gets his acceptance letter to the football team, but it's me getting my acceptance email to Thrive School. Yeah, so I got that going for us.
Well, that's going to be great.
I think it's going to be good.
We're going to look forward to seeing that on the YouTube.
We'll tag you guys on when we post the
Please
video.
do.
Okay.
Hey, I know that it's been a little bit of a difficult time the last couple of years with your wife's struggle with cancer, and how that really helped inspire some things for the album Oxygen, but it's also obviously a real life struggle. How's she doing?
She's doing fine on the cancer front. She actually just recently underwent cervical spine surgery.
Wow.
We're hoping this is the last deal for a while, but and it maybe has been the most difficult, honestly. So she is just now starting to feel better from that. So that's been about a month now, and so it was hard to leave home this time.
Sure.
And but I'll be back home tomorrow to
Well, I
see.
imagine that's curtailed you somewhat musically, and the fact that you've got responsibilities towards her and the rest of the family.
Sure, and it's never something I mind. I'm kind of a homebody anyway. And so we've stayed home more in 2016 than I have in probably the last 20 years. And it's been wonderful. My boys are 11 and 14, and
Sure.
I've made a commitment. Somebody said, like, how do you deal with that? And I go, I think commitments strengthen things, and so I made a commitment to not miss that season with my kids.
Right.
And so you decide that kind of stuff, and then you figure out the schedule second.
But
So-
like any dad, it's that balancing. On the one hand, you do have to work in order to provide.
That's right. Dad's got to work.
But the second thing is you have to be there for them. How do you, as a dad, strike that balance?
So knowing my kids is the number one thing. Knowing what holds value to them. Some kids speak gifts. Some kids speak quality time. It's different things. So I have to make sure that the moments I get with my kids count. And so we kind of, it's go big or go home. So we do a lot of fun stuff that, it literally might be because I'm one of the pastors at my church, I have keys. So I've realized that I can take them down there late at night sometimes and go play Nerf Wars or just any kind of crazy.
Basically abusing your power.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolute, complete
that's the
flagrant
American
abuse.
way.
Flagrant abuse of power for the benefit of family. Yeah, that's me.
You've got the chance to abuse the power up on stage today. What are you hoping to do?
I'm hoping to lead people to Christ, man. I'm hoping to point people in the direction of Jesus. That's always the goal for us. And I just spoke at a worship conference down in Orange County, and my talk was about why we do what we do. And kind of my question was for the worship leaders and the tech people is, what do you hope will happen because of what you do? And so for me, if you ask me that question, I'd say I hope that people get pointed in the direction of Jesus. I hope people who have a relationship with Jesus have a stronger one, are more inspired to go out and be world changers after this. And I hope people who don't know him would end up knowing him by the time they leave. That's why.
And if somebody winds up wandering through Northern California, what's your church out there?
Bayside Church. It's in Granite Bay. We've actually got a bunch of campuses out there. BaysideOnline.com, or if you're interested in the Thrive School, thriveschool.org. You can check that out too.
Lincoln Brewster with us at the 30th Annual Pulse Festival.
praise you in this storm, and I will lift my hands. You are Jesus, you alone are worthy of.
Dear friend of mine named Rich Mullins. My deliverer is coming. My deliverer is standing by. Yeah.
You know, there are so few things in this world that you can count on anymore, especially when it comes to our financial future and planning for retirement. We live in a dynamic world defined by change, but when it comes to securing our retirement income, we want stability, not uncertainty. And that's why I consistently talk about charitable gift annuities. A gift annuity provides a safe and steady income stream which is fixed for life, and you are investing into changing lives for Jesus Christ at the same time. If you are over 49 and a half years of age and you have at least $10,000 in a savings account or CD, call us today. Let us show you how you can have at least one form of retirement income that you can count on. When you lay up your treasure in heaven, you can count on it being there, waiting for you. So call us today and let us help you have a secure income for the rest of your life.
The Harvest Show is produced by LeSEA Broadcasting and is viewer supported by people just like you. Thank you for inviting us into your home today.